Good morning, everybody. My name is Bella, and this is my twin sister, Millie. We are both 10 years old.
Well, I'm 3 minutes older, and we go to Orange Center Elementary. My favorite color is blue.
And mine is magenta, just so you can tell who's who later.
We are proud to be the very first official members of the Jacqueline Bradley and Clarence Otis family branch.
And we are honored to be here this morning to welcome you and thank you and officially open our new club.
It feels like we waited forever for today.
We watched the club being built from our balconies and even saw the first holes dug.
At first, we didn't know what it was going to be. Was it a park or a house?
Then we saw the sign go up, and my mom told us we were going to become club members.
I was so excited because I knew it was a place we could make new friends and have a fun experience.
I was excited to see the dancing programs they would have. I love dancing.
We want you all to know how much it means to kids like us in the community.
Thank you, Mrs. Bradley and Mr. Otis, for dreaming of this really cool club.
And for making the dreams come true for me, Bella, and all my friends from school. They have been asking when the club will be ready. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts for making this club possible.
We know it wasn't easy, but thank you for working hard and making an investment in our futures.
We would now like to ask you to please bow your heads for a blessing, to show thanks on this special day.
Father, thank you for your many blessings in our Boys and Girls Club. We are grateful for everyone that believes in us and wants us to have a better future. Please bless this morning, our event, and all our friends and families. And please help our Boys and Girls Club staff and all the children that will come to our club each year. Amen. And now it is their honor to introduce...
And cool. What? It's cool.
To introduce a very important person in our community.
Who always thinks of children and all the important decisions he makes. Ladies and gentlemen,
Mayor Dyer.
Thank you, ladies. That was the best introduction I've ever had. Good morning. It's great to be with you this morning, and I'm sorry about the positioning that favors the speakers in the first row. But a lot of you look a little like you need some sun, so just make sure you do the sunscreen, and it'll all be good. I want to acknowledge Commissioner Regina Hill, District 5, who proudly represents the Westlake neighborhoods, Commissioner. And I'm not sure if Commissioner Burns is here or not, but there he is, Commissioner Bakari Burns, whose district starts basically 2 streets over. As mayor, I have several priorities for the city of Orlando, and it's not often that a project comes along that addresses so many of the priorities that we have as the Bradley Otis Boys and Girls Club, and I want to highlight just 2 of those priorities. As a city, we're committed to work to ensure that every resident has equitable access to opportunities to help them thrive, and that starts with our very youngest members of our community. And there are a few organizations that are better at providing those opportunities than the Boys and Girls Club. And the children who attend this club will be our next doctors, our next judges, our engineers, our teachers, maybe some politicians, and I saw Women on the Move last night, which is the movie about Captain Uhura, Lieutenant Uhura from Star Trek that helped to diversify NASA, so maybe we even have some astronauts that are going to be coming out of this club. And Gary knows this, Boys and Girls Clubs, other than Paramore Kids Zone, is my other favorite charity. I do my workplace giving to Boys and Girls Club, and then this year I took over for Stan Gundy as Buddy Claus for open mic, and we raised money for Boys and Girls Club around the Christmas holidays. So we nurture our young residents and help them succeed now in the future. So I think Clarence said it best at the groundbreaking a year ago when he said, "The children and families in this community deserve our support. They deserve the opportunity to dream big and the opportunity to achieve those dreams." And I agree with that. City of Orlando is proud to support this branch of the club. And secondly, we believe in investing in our neighborhoods. There was a time when, some will remember, when decisions were made that eroded the economic opportunity in some of the neighborhoods on the west side. And I'm delighted that organizations and developments like Lift Orlando, including the stunning new Boys and Girls Club, the city's major renovation, along with Florida Citrus Sports at the Lake Lorna Dune Park, are turning the tide on disinvestment in this area. Together, we are honoring the Westlake's neighborhood's historic reputation as a cradle of African-American education and leadership in Orlando and some of the most vibrant neighborhoods. So my sincere thanks to Jackie and to Clarence for your extraordinary vision and, of course, your generosity. To the other generous donors that have made this possible, to the Westlake's community leaders and residents, to Lift Orlando for facilitating this world-class partnership, and of course to the Boys and Girls Club for the life-changing work that you do here. I can't wait to see all the exciting things that are going to happen in this new facilities, and congratulations to everybody.
Good morning. I cannot tell you how humbled I am to be here with you. Mayor, thank you for those remarks, for your continued partnership in our entire journey. What incredible privilege to be here. Jackie and Clarence. Harold Mills, Tom Sidema from our board, Terry Prather, my CEO, who's not able to be here today. Can you believe this? That we're seeing this building and it's come to life. And to Jackie and Clarence, thank you not only for your generosity, but for co-owning this vision together to really push all of us along the way. We try to think of ourselves at Lift Orlando as always demanding nothing less than the best for the people that we're serving. In every development, in every site, in every program, how do we provide what is world-class, what is worthy of the highest appreciation for people's dignity in every project? And even us, even we felt pushed to go even further, and now we have the standard-bearing club. Gary, thank you. What an honor to be partners with you. I'm always inspired by your humility and love and passion for a mission. Thank you so very much. It's amazing to look out at you and know how many here are part of this story and journey, and how precious a thing that is to celebrate such a commitment. And as good as you look this morning, you don't come close to what's about to happen inside these walls. To hear Bella and Millie speak of their journey of witnessing it come out of the ground, of knowing that their school is connected to this club, and to multiply their voices, their hearts, the potential for their future, times hundreds of other children that will make this club home, that will find in this place hope and dreams for a future and the courage to actually pursue those dreams. You're sitting in the middle of the Westlake community campus, embedded in this rich community named by residents as the communities of Westlake, in the heart of Orlando, between Paramore and Washington Shores, and standing on the great histories of those communities with a vision for the future. And the contributions we've been able to make as partners here at Lift Orlando, from the apartments across the street, Pindana at Westlake, to the Early Learning Center tucked just behind the school, and soon breaking ground in a matter of weeks, the new Westlake's Health and Wellness Center just going up across the street. And for all the excitement of these developments, the infrastructure and the stuff that we build, the bricks and mortar that Lift Orlando often gets a spotlight for, none of that comes close to the greatest, most humbling privilege of this work. And it's been to uncover and elevate, to magnify the richness of character and leadership, the legacy and heritage. The Orlando history of Black leadership is so concentrated in the heart of 32805 and in the communities of Westlake. I cannot tell you how remarkable it is to so frequently run into history makers and people who are just laudable leaders, not just in this part of town, but in our city, who call this neighborhood home. For me and my family, we're so proud to be residents of Westlake and to get to know some of the neighbors that my children and wife get to befriend as part of this work, but it's more than that now. One of my favorite neighbors. Is not only a man who has served our country as a 3-star admiral in the Navy, who led the first fleet into the Gulf War, who has bravely stood on behalf of this country, you and I, and our rights to freedoms and all the hopes that we have attached to the American dream, but came back and served again as superintendent of public schools in the LA School District, and has never stopped serving with this heart on fire for the passion for the future of young people in our community. He is one of the most stalwart champions for the mission of the Boys and Girls Club. He is someone who is consistently driving forward the role and impact it can have in our communities. And as we sit here today, I am so excited to be able to introduce to you someone who's been a leader, a board member of Westlake's Partnership to Mayors is here, who leads that resident-founded effort here in the community. And we have representatives from each of the communities and HOAs. We technically sit in the community of the Lake Sunset neighborhood that has been here for so many years and is one of the founding neighborhoods of the communities of Westlakes. Along that journey, every step of the way, we've had this voice of wisdom and encouragement who's always had an angle for education and the future of our children, even while he cares for his now 101-year-old mother, who just had a birthday, partly sustained by the love and faithfulness of her son. Please give a warm welcome to this stage our partner, friend, and co-leader in this work, Admiral David Brewer.
Well, good morning. I don't know if I can say anything that can overcome that introduction. It's just such a pleasure to be here. Mayor Dyer, Jackie, and Clarence, as well as the Boys and Girls leadership. I would just like to say that it is correct. I am your biggest fan. And let me tell you why. When I became superintendent of schools for Los Angeles, they said, "Superintendent, you have the country's largest gang population, 40,000 gang members. We had our own police force, etc. The county had 60,000 gang members. So while I was focused on clearly student achievement, and we did have the highest academic gains of any of the major school districts in the entire state of California when I was superintendent, the thing that kept me up at night, that had me running onto campuses at 6 p.m. as some gangbanger went running through my campuses, I said, what is the solution to this? Why have you all been putting up with this for decades? And they said, Superintendent, we need Boys and Girls Clubs. We need YMCAs. Because our children are being recruited in the 5th grade between the hours of 4 and 7 and in the summer. And the only antidote to that is to take them off of the streets between 4 and 7 and in the summer. And as you have seen through the Boys and Girls Club programs, whether you're talking about diplomas to degrees and the summer brain gain, and as Superintendent, Superintendent Jenkins will tell you, that the thing that hurts our children the most, the Title I children, the children on free and reduced lunches, is the summer slump. And that summer brain gain program that they're going to get right here in this club is going to take them to another level. So this is a godsend. The good news for Orlando is that we have models, Tangelo Park, Academic Center for Excellence, all of which have either a community center or a Boys and Girls Club to anchor it. The children will be able to walk from Orange Center to the Boys and Girls Club, unabated, walk right in. That in itself is significant. So as my mother who taught at Orange Center, she is elated today to realize that this has come to fruition. We have pre-K all the way through college graduation with our Tangelo Park and our Academic Center for Excellence. The only thing missing in this community, and as the president of the Westlake's Partnership, I will be able to round out this whole model is a full college scholarship safety program. That's my mission. We already have it in Tangelo Park. We already have it at the Academic Center for Excellence. That's the final piece to this. So, somebody's preaching back there. But the thing is, I would just like to thank you, Jackie and Clarence, for this blessing. I'd like to thank the Boys and Girls Club of America and the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Orlando for supporting this mission. And I'd also like to thank Lift Orlando. Without you all's support, with all that money that you all brought into this community, and all of the vision that you brought into this community, this would not have happened. So thank you very much. And now I will introduce one of my favorite people. Unfortunately, Rich Black had an emergency with his mother and cannot be here today. So Commissioner Hill, my commissioner, will come and speak to you now. Thank you.
That's a hard act to follow. Thank you, Admiral. And good morning to Mayor Dyer, Gary Kane, Jim Clark, and Lift Orlando, and the school board representatives. Good morning. Surely you can see I am not Rich Black. But as the Admiral stated, due to an unforeseen incident, he cannot be with us this morning. But however, he would not allow this Boys and Girls Club to have this grand opening without him saying the word, and we all know Rich Black. So at this time, I would like to recognize some of the pioneers in this community that have worked collaboratively with the Boys and Girls Club in Lift Orlando and Orange Center Elementary to bring this to a fruition. And that is our Westlake HOA presidents. And I want to introduce you all to them individually. Margaret Hill of Rock Lake, can you please stand up? Terrence Miller of Spring Lake Manor. He might not be here today because he's at City Hall doing the mayor's business and planning. Brian Gibson of Lake Larned Dune, can you please stand up? Andre Smart of Bunch Manor, can you please stand? And Miss Fannie Williams of Clear Lake Cove. Rich would want me to share with you today that Lake Sunset Luau Terrace is the only neighborhood in Florida to be recognized by the national recognition as the 1998 USA Neighborhood of the Year. And that was done under Mayor Dyer's leadership and Marcia Goodwin. I think I saw her. I contemplated, what would I share with you today? And my mind went back to last Friday evening as I was listening virtually to the Onyx Magazine showcase, Stellar 2021 Women on the Move. I was honored to be a part of this annual award show that celebrates 18 of the most phenomenal and impactful women in Florida. I listened to the event in my car, and what I did not realize was that I was not listening alone. My riding partner, my grandson Poppy, which attends Orange Center Elementary, and I must say that we pass at least 5 schools coming out of Metro West where we reside to get to Orange Center Elementary. So that states a whole lot about this campus and what this is going to bring to this community. He said, Nana, they don't honor boys or men on the show, just women? I responded, no, Poppy, this is a show that honors only women. My grandson sat there and contemplated my answer and said again to me, true story. Nana, are you sure they don't honor boys? And so as the evening progressed, I continued to think about this thing, and I reflected on my grandson's question. I realized what he was really asking is, do I matter? Do I matter? I thought about what my grandson stated. And at that moment, Poppy was evaluating how he fit into the scheme of things. So I say thank you, Lift Orlando, the Jacqueline, Bradley, and Clarence Otis family branch of the Boys and Girls Club of Central Florida, and our resident stakeholders, and the woman and man of the hour, Miss Jacqueline Bradley and Clarence Otis, for sowing the seeds of opportunity that will grow into our future leaders, and also that other young boys and girls like my grandson Poppy never will have to wonder if they matter. In closing, I would like to leave you with the words from the great educator, Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune. She states, the world around us really belongs to the youth, for youth will take over its future management. Our children must never lose their zeal for building a better world. They must not be discouraged from aspiring towards greatness, for they are to be the leaders of tomorrow. Nor must they forget that masses of people are still underprivileged, ill-housed, impoverished, and victimized by discrimination. We have a powerful potential in our youth, and we must have the courage to change old ideas and practices so that we may direct their power towards good ends. And I say today, we stand in the midst of old ends and brighter tomorrows, and it stands here today when we cut this ribbon in this community that was, I say again, that was impoverished, hopeless, and without hope. But through Mayor Dyer's leadership, Live for Orlando, great community stakeholders, great HOA presidents, and the benevolence and compassion of the Bradleys and Mr. Otis. Because of those who have came and put their arms into the plow and built this building. And I will bring up someone to help honor the woman and man of the hour. But what I want each and every one of you all to know, that this building was all inclusively built. Men and women, black and brown, white and red, poor and the rich. This building stands as a representation of what we all do together for the greater good of all people. So Tracy Anderson, can you please come up? And this is a token of appreciation and love and gratitude, Jacqueline and Otis, for what you have done in this neighborhood and your assistance. Thank you.
Commissioner Hill, Admiral Brewer, all I can say is wow. So we're probably not going to get to the level of being able to articulate as powerfully as you have what has happened here and the vision for our community. But let me do my best with what I got. That's all I can do. First of all, let me give a quick shout out to Bella and Millie, our first two members. You guys were fabulous. Thank you so much. And for those of you I may not have met, my name is Gary Kane, and it is my pleasure to welcome you this morning. Now, we've already recognized by their own speaking some of our elected officials. There have only been 2 mayors since my family and I moved here in 1994. And our present mayor is one of the most visionary and forward-seeking mayors that I've ever worked closely with and been in a community that had. Look at all that has happened. Thank you, Mayor Dyer. You are a rock star. You're a rock star. Commissioner Hill, I love the passion, the enthusiasm, the commitment to this community and the communities that you serve. It resonates with me every time I'm with you. Thank you so much. God bless you. We're so grateful for you. Bakari Burns is also a legend in the nonprofit field. And Bakari, I want to thank you, my man. You are very special. Our newest city commissioner, very, very special man. And I always look forward to seeing Bakari and seeing what he is doing to make our communities healthier and to advance our communities as a new role as city commissioner. Now, you all don't really know how special our school superintendent is, or maybe you do. I do. You do. There you go. Listen, Barbara Jenkins is another rock star, the best school superintendent in America. Barbara, thank you so much. Boys and Girls Clubs of Central Florida operates across 6 counties, 6 superintendents. There is nobody any more visionary, nobody that sees when we put together the assets of schools, early learning, Boys and Girls Clubs, and a pipeline to college, that things great can happen. And as I was sharing earlier with a couple of people, you know, in America, we incarcerate more people than any first world country. And most of them are black and brown. And that has always driven me crazy, because here we can invest and have fewer prisons. More of these, more Paramore Kid Zones, more other organizations that are effective at what we do. We can do something about that. So thank you so much for joining us this spectacular morning. So a thing or two happened. Staff's really nervous, I'm off script. So a thing or two happened while we were building this club just over a year ago, just over there by the asphalt court on February 10th, 2020 to be exact. A lot of the same friends who are here today gathered just over there to what feels like now a lifetime away, and we shoveled some ceremonial soil. And we spoke of an amazing club that was going to rise out of the ground to change children's lives. Little did we know then that our own lives were about to be turned upside down by coronavirus. It's been said that a crisis will shine a bright spotlight on your weaknesses. But for our organization, and for this project in particular, the pandemic did just the opposite. It revealed our strengths. First and foremost, it revealed the strength and persistence of our staff. When many organizations were shuttering their doors, their employees claiming that it was unsafe to work, our staff did just the opposite. In the early days of the pandemic, they set about figuring out how we could pivot, how we could continue to serve our families and our children, how we could get our clubs open, and then how could we implement safety measures in the best possible way to operate. So we are now open, and we've been serving since early June, and I will tell you that I believe that our committed staff proved that they were up to the pandemic. And I have a really great staff, and I'm so grateful for them. Let me just single out 2 people. So someone earlier thanked me and said, gosh, Gary, thank you for all the work you put into this. But really, our COO is kind of behind the scenes. Mac Reed, take a bow there. He has been on top of this project in a big way. Oh, okay. I'm told that I don't have the mic in the right place. And secondly, our facilities manager, who has so much expertise, so much ability, and really make sure that that's all done. It's Gary Rennick. So I don't know where Gary is, but Gary, thank you for all your efforts. Now, there may have been a pandemic going on, but apparently no one told the folks at Schinkel Schultz Architecture, Tom Chandler, thank you so much, who continued to oversee the manifestation of this gorgeous design. And I'm going to make a bold statement with Jim Clark, our national CEO, and say that this is the most beautiful Boys and Girls Clubs in America, right here. And no one told the people at Brassfield Gorey, who showed up dawn after dawn, kept their heads down and they worked their craft as the world fell apart around us to keep this project on schedule. And they did it not just for the Boys and Girls Clubs, they did it for the communities here and the children of Westlake. So thank you so much, Brassville Gorey. And finally, the pandemic shone a bright, hot spotlight on the determination, faithfulness, and commitment of our benefactors, most notably Jackie Bradley and Clarence Otis. Thank you guys so much. I can never tell you how grateful I am. Schinkel Schultz, Disney, I saw Matt earlier. We're so grateful for our friends at Disney. The Kiwanis Club of Orlando Foundation, Harold and Rosie Mills, Tom and Jane Sidema, and Kim and Kathy Loptrip. Thank you all so much. As financial and health uncertainty shook individuals and organizations around us, our benefactors remained resolute. Jackie and Clarence, with their family and the army of donors who coalesced around this project, knew that in the words of Dr. King, the time is always right to do what is right. Or stated differently, when Jackie Bradley sets her mind to do something, not even a global pandemic is going to take her off course. Thank you, Jackie. I've worked with Jackie as a board volunteer for 20 plus years, and Jackie, I tell you how much I love her spirit, her generosity, and she tells me the way she sees it, and I love that. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for always being very candid with me. One more word about Jackie and Clarence. They've not only provided the community here a beautiful Boys and Girls Club, but they will serve as role models for the children who come here of what can be achieved when you combine perspiration and inspiration. I know they will be involved in this club on a very personal level, and this will perhaps be their greatest contribution, modeling in the words of Michelle Obama that success isn't about how much money you make, it's about the difference you make in people's lives. In my 43 years of service to Boys and Girls Clubs, I don't know that I've ever felt so grateful. From the bottom of my heart, thank you all so much. To the Westlake community, thank you so much.
Good morning. Oh my God. Oh my God. Imagine a place where it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, what your circumstances are, what determines your future. Imagine a place that's all about opportunity and access. About opportunity and access. This is it. This is a shining example of that place. I hope you all know what you've done. Because you've done something magnificent, something special, something important. But most importantly, something that will change the trajectory of lives and this community forever. A lot of people to thank, and a lot of people have already come up and shared why this is so important to this community. God bless you all for that. But I want to thank Gary to start with. You know, when Gary calls, I come. That's the type of person Gary is. He's a remarkable leader, courageous, not afraid, passionate. Gary always gives the credit to others. He's a humble guy. But we all know it takes a leader to make things happen, and that's Gary. So Gary, thank you to you and your staff for what you've done, but more importantly, what you're going to do right here. Thank you, Gary. You know, you think about this, Boys and Girls Clubs of America. There's 4,736 Boys and Girls Club locations here in the United States of America and around the globe on every military base, Admiral, in the world where people are living. That's our commitment to communities, to neighborhoods, to kids, and to families. Clearly, that commitment continues right here. But what else continues right here is something that's been referenced already, and I like to talk a lot about it because I'm patriotic. It's called the American Dream and the American Promise, where if you are in this country, you work hard, you're going to get an education, you can be anything that you want to be. That's what this creates. You think about the future. The mayor did a great job. I had written down some things. I didn't need to take them out because he covered it all. But you think about that. This is the future of our country. These are the kids, the teens coming here that will grow up to be our future. And thanks to Clarence and Jackie, what we like to call, they're going to have a great future right here. So for me, there's no higher honor, no greater privilege, and no better reason than to be here today. In fact, I'll go one step further. We've all seen a lot happening in our country and in our communities, especially over the last year with so much that's happened. But today, there is nothing more important going on in this nation than this event right here. Because it's about our future. So Eddie, thank you for the work that you do here. The old adage is true. It takes a village to raise a child. It takes a community, in today's term, to raise a child. And that's what all of you are doing. So on behalf of Boys and Girls Clubs of America, we owe you a tremendous debt of gratitude for everything that's happening in this community and the work that all of you are committed to, dedicated to. And of course, we owe a tremendous debt of gratitude to Jackie and Clarence. Now, usually, as I said, when Gary calls, I come. But there's another person that can call, well, two people that can call, and I come. One of them is one of my bosses, Clarence Otis. Clarence also serves on the National Board of Governors for Boys and Girls Clubs of America. And that just demonstrates in one small way his commitment to children across this nation, because that's what he and Jackie believe in. And the other person, of course, that if she called, I would come immediately, and that's Jackie. A lot of stories about Jackie. I haven't experienced all those, but oh my God, what a force of nature. What a force of nature. So to me, I'm really proud to be with all of you today to celebrate the ribbon cutting and introduction of this beautiful, stunning beacon of hope, Boys and Girls Club, the Jackie Bradley and Clarence Otis Boys and Girls Club. So with that, I want to introduce who we've been talking about all morning. Two great individuals, great parents, great advocates for kids across this country, and great Americans. Jackie, Clarence, come on up.
Thank you so much. As I look around and see all that is here, not just this building, but everything that's happened here, it really is a tribute to what we can do together. You think about all the people that have come together, Lift Orlando, Orange County, the Orange County School Board and District, City of Orlando, the communities of Westlake, and the many, many donors that we have. We've got a community that is anchored in some incredible assets, and that starts with the people who live here, who've invested their lives and their livelihoods in this community. But it also includes the schools, Jones High School, Orange Center Elementary, and the other schools nearby. And it really is something that's resulted in wonderful, high-quality housing, a stunning new early childhood development center, the Cumming Wellness Center, and of course, this Boys and Girls Club. And so we can accomplish a great deal as we work together, and all of this, again, is a testimony to that. I'd like to do just a couple of things. One is to thank a number of people, starting with the Darden family, which is my family. And that includes certainly the Darden Restaurants Foundation, but it also includes my successor and his wife, Jean and Amy Lee. So Jean, thank you. It includes Kim and Kathy Loptrup. Kim is the president and CEO of Red Lobster. Kim, thank you, and Kathy, we appreciate it. And it includes someone who's not here today, but is certainly a dear, dear friend, our former Chief Financial Officer, Linda Demopoulos. And I'd also like to thank a couple of friends and neighbors. And so that would include certainly Harold and Rosie Mills, thank you. And it would include Tom and Jane Sidema. Tom, Jane, thank you so much. I'll end my remarks just with a personal reflection. And Admiral Brewer talked about it. He talked about being the superintendent of the Los Angeles Unified School District. Well, that's the school district that I grew up in. And we've talked about it before, so Admiral Brewer knows that I grew up in the neighborhood that was the epicenter of all that gang activity that he talked about. And in fact, I went to elementary school with the founders of the Crips, a gang that's now nationally notorious because we didn't do what we needed to do back in the day. I played football with the founders of the Bloods. And it's easy to demonize those guys. But I knew them personally, and I know that they were people that had incredible leadership skills, enormous charisma, and contrary to a lot of popular belief, all of those folks, all of those guys were students that excelled in school. But there was something missing in their lives. And what was missing is what the Boys and Girls Club provides. It really was just that. It provides nurturing. It lets kids know that they matter. It points in a positive direction. And so seeing that wastefulness, that leadership potential, those incredible intellects diverted without something like the Boys and Girls Club has always left a mark on me. So we are deeply privileged to be involved with the movement and to really be a part of bringing this particular club to this community. Thank you.
Thanks, Clarence. When you have a chance to liberate a child's spirit and help others, you must. And we as a community collectively hold the keys to unlock the potential of the young boys and girls of this community. You've heard a lot about me and my pushiness, and I would miss an opportunity if I had an audience that, both virtually and here, not to let you know that we need your ongoing support for the operations of this club. All right, so a $1,000 investment provides 150 life-changing program hours. $5,000 provides a day of operations of the club. And if you wanted to support a child from age 6 to 18, a $75,000 commitment would allow that to happen. So I encourage you to think of the joy that you will have by supporting others' lives. I've been a part of the movement for over 20 years since we've been here in Orlando, and I know the success
of the Boys and Girls Club and how it transforms lives. And I am confident with our leadership here that we'll continue to have more and more successes. And I just thank those who have already stepped up to the table and look forward to thanking those who will in the future. Thank you.
Thank you to all of our partners and board members who made this club possible. We are so
Excited. Thank you for inspiring us and giving us a chance to reach our full potential as productive, responsible, and caring citizens. Now is the most special part of today, our official ribbon cutting.
Mrs. Bradley and Mr. Otis, will you please take the biggest scissors we have ever seen for the biggest moment of the year?
To open the doors of the Jacqueline Bradley and Clarence Otis family branch, our new club.